You are going to have about 2 pounds of clay, and we're going to slice a bit off in a disc to be the base. The rest of this we're going to use to make our coils. So to do the base, you're going to use your fist and bang. I have one side that's thinner than the other, so I'm going to focus more on this side and move my fist around. Careful not to make any big divots. I'm going to use a round cookie cutter. We've got several different sizes, or you can just draw your own. I'm going to go ahead and start just by kind of reusing this extra to make a coil. So to make a coil, you want to roll it evenly, and this is how I do it, by kind of moving my fingers up and out. That's a nice coil width. They can be thicker or thinner. You've got a skinny spot there, so I'm just going to pinch that one off. Okay, so I have my first coil ready, and to join that, I'm just going to score and slip. And scoring is boring, but I make lots of lines. You're going to take your needle tool, and you are going to go all the way around in both the directions. You want this to be nice and secure. And then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom of your coil. The next part of our rhyme is the slipping. We're using water for our slip. Slipping is dipping, and I like it just fine. So you're just going to dip a little water in there. You can also use a toothbrush for scoring. So I'm going to do a combo of those on my coil. So now I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to take my finger and grab it and press down. You can see the coil is growing a little bit as I do this. And there's two ways you can do it. You could cut right here and just join that piece, or you can just keep going. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of like, what's that called, mitering that corner a little bit. And for the remainder of your coil, after the first layer, I think for the remainder of the coils, it would be fine to do the toothbrush. It's a little faster. And this clay hopefully will be pretty wet, so it should be okay. So on the first layer, I'm going to go ahead and join my base in. If you really want your coils to show, you could join it on the inside. And that is up to you aesthetically, what you would like it to look like. You can decide whether or not you want your coils to show. And if you don't, then each time you add another layer, you'll go around and smooth it. And if you do, then you'll just leave that, and you can smooth it on the inside. And that will keep it looking nice and have the design on the outside, but nice and secure. So if you do want your coils to show, you can smooth on the inside. If you don't, you can smooth both. You guys are just going to keep coiling, keep the shape that you want in mind, because it can really easily get wide if you're not intentionally bringing it up. If you want to have some coils showing, you can do more of a decorative. You can use balls, you can do these rainbow kind of shapes. You can roll it into a spiral. If you wanted to have several rows of spirals, or say you wanted a row of spirals going across the middle. And if you want it to be a watertight dish, let's say you want to put a plant in here, you'll just smooth one side of these, the inside. So I can make enough of these to go around, And of course I can't just stick them on there like that. I will have to score and slip, but you can just roll them without scoring and slipping that part. But you'll need to score and slip them to the bottom and the sides to each other. You could really get creative. You know those ribbon candies that just kind of go like this? You could make something like that. Whatever you can dream up, as long as you score and slip it properly, then you'll be fine. So that's kind of fun. I might do that around mine, or I might even mix it up and do a few different things. So I've got my kind of funky design all around here. And what I'm going to do is use my hand, my left hand, to support, and gently, to hopefully not squish the other side, I'm going to take my fingers and go around and blend the inside, because I want mine to be a flower pot to hold dirt and water, and so I don't want that leaking out. What I did was I could have left it uneven, but I want to put a larger coil around the top to finish it off. So what I did was I made a couple spheres to put those in, a couple of smaller coils, and just kind of worked those in, and then joined everything on the back. There are some places where either if the joint is cracking or there's a little hole, what you can do is just take another piece of clay, and I'm just going to smush it and make a little mini slab so that it's thin, and find whatever spot you think might need it. Just do another score and slip on there and patch that piece in. And now I'm going to finish mine off with a coil around the top and just going around and getting the texture how I want it. Okay, I've gotten my top coil attached, but I'm still going to go through in places that are cracking like that. I'm going to take my finger over it and smooth those out. You can use water, but you're better off the less water you use, because that will weaken your clay. So I would try your best just to smooth it with a dry finger, and then if that really is not working, just dip your finger in, shake off the extra, and then rub it on that way. Since I have some extra clay and I did want to do a flower pot, I'm going to go ahead and poke a hole in the bottom. You could do a couple. And I'm going to show you how to make a plate that will go under that. And it's the same that we did before, where you were going to make a slab, and I'm going to get, I can use that same cookie cutter as a guide, but I do want it to be a little bigger. Okay, so since this is the biggest cookie cutter in the pack, I'm going to put it on there and give it a little tap to leave that mark. And then I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to cut a little larger. Now that I've got that, what I'm going to do basically is essentially the same starting steps, where I'm going to score and slip this, and I'm going to add a coil to the outside. This slab, it's just barely big enough, so I'm actually going to join my coil to the outside. Okay, so at this point I've got my plate. I need to put my name on it. I've got my pot. I've smoothed things out so that it has nice craftsmanship, and the marks that are on it are intentional. Kind of smooth out any of those clay boogers. And once you're to that point, you can bring it over to the blue tray to dry out for next time. And then we will bisque fire these, and then we will glaze them.